Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kustianti. Today I would like to present about relating epistemology, teaching methods, and skill need in digital age by 2015. In this presentation, I would like to talk about first the importance of learning epistemology. The second one is the differences of methods of teaching in campus-based learning. See the needs of learners in a digital age. And the last one is conclusion. The importance of learning epistemology. Epistemology is really important to learn for the teachers. Because what? Because by learning and understanding well about epistemology, the teacher can determine and decide what theories or approaches to use in teaching. And after the teachers decided, the teacher can develop teaching methods that build on such learning theories according to the student's need and context. Now, talking about the differences of methods of teaching in campus-based learning, I would like to present 5 methods in this presentation. The first is transmission. This means learning by listening. In this method, the students only pay attention by listening what the teacher say or the speech of the teacher. There is a lack of interaction, and it is relatively ineffective for teaching behavioral skills and the test relying on memory. According to me, this method is better to use for the students, especially for visual learners, maybe, because there is no interaction. And take a look at the second method, interactive lectures, seminars, and tutorials, or we can say learning by talking. In this method, there is interaction between the students and teacher because there is discussion and focus on analytical or critical thinking for problem solving, and for assessment based on analysis, synthesis, comparison, and evaluation. And this method can be used for not only visual and auditory learners, but also kinesthetic learners. And take a look to the third method, learning by doing. In this method, experts often rely on modeling with the hope that learners will pick up the knowledge and skills from just watching the expert in action. There is clearly a limited number of learners that one expert can manage. And the fourth method is experiential learning or learning by doing. In this method, instruction in experiential learning is often unguided. It means that the students look confused because so general lesson should be focused. It is point to several meta-analyses of the effectiveness of problem-based learning that indicate no difference in problem-solving abilities. And there is lower basic science exam scores, longer study hours for PBL students, and PBL is more costly, of course. And the last method is the nurturing and social reform models of teaching, or we can say learning by feeling. In this method, focus on needs of individuals rather than institutions can liberate thinking and learning, and thus make the difference between good and excellent in creative thinking, problem solving, and application of knowledge in complex and variable contexts. Now, talking about the needs of learners in a digital age. First, interactive between lecturers and students. Of course, if there is no interactive, how can students can understand well about the lesson, and how can students have critical thinking, of course. And the second, the aim should be to make the lecture engaging in its own right, so the students are not distracted by their online activity. It means that sometimes the students use the technology not for learning. For example, when the teacher try to explain the lesson, some of the students play game in the classroom by his or her gadget. So by make something like agreement, and there is engaging context, and make the students interesting to learn. So I believe that this is the needs of learners in a digital age. And then taking advantage of time limited by system. Clear, it will be a very useful model, for teaching in highly complex real world context if it's applied systematically. The next is giving students tasks to do in real world situation with strong guidance. Following best practices associated with the design models. And the last, the digital age provides the technology infrastructure and support needed. Now, here is the conclusion. I'm sorry. By considering the benefits of learning to meet students' needs and adapting the context to achieve learning objectives, sometimes teachers are not too idealistic and apply only one approach of each teaching method to a practical learning theory, and each theory to a theory epistemology. So it means that sometimes students not only focus onto one theory, or maybe the teacher can combine or can develop the theory or the methods. And the second conclusion is, by learning epistemological foundation, theories and teaching methods will lead the teachers to have appropriate decisions how to teach in particular context and what technology for a particular learner tasks for. I think that's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.